workers came back from their holiday weekend where the warehouse was not in operation and found a DoorDash delivery sitting in the middle of the hallway.
Oh, he was about to pack my boy up. He didn't even want the food. He wanted booty meat. No. Like, he was about to send you on channel 5, boy. It's a good thing you got up out of there. Jesus Christ. Bro, that was scaring me, bro. I'm going to church right after that, bro. There's no way, bro. That's crazy, Mo. Whew, you so blessed, bro. And you so smart for getting up out of there, because a lot of people wouldn't have had, and they would have sat there on Channel 5 News, bro. That's crazy.
What is your cause? Please enlighten our audience. What do you want?
Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another banger for y'all young boys today, man. And hey, man, we here with MJV Animations, 3 chillin' true food delivery horror stories. If you don't know, bro, I used to sit there and do food delivery. I was Uber Eats, I was DoorDash, I was Flights, I was out there in the streets and Instacarting too, man. I was out in the streets. I had to do that I could, bro. I was broke. I was broke with a capital B. Sitting there just delivering the food to people, bro. And there's so many story times I got from delivering food, bro. And my little brother got some story times too. It be ghetto. It be ghetto and very dangerous sitting there delivering food to people, man. Because people just treat you like anything and you just be end up in the most wildest places. But hey, man, I'm going to believe that these stories probably about to be crazy. But without further ado, let's get right into the video, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new. And let's start, man.
I was driving for Domino's Pizza delivery. It was a slow night, so I was actually spending a decent amount of time inside the shop, waiting for orders to come in for me to deliver. Just after 10 p.m., a man walked in and came up to the counter. He looked
I ain't gonna lie, the freaky frogs, bro, the freakiest fucking frogs always bald with a goatee, bro. Like, always the freakiest dudes out there in the world are always got the baldini genie and a goatee, bro. I'm telling you, it never fails. In a little gray hoodie, sweat hoodie, man. I'm telling you.
like he was in his early 30s, but was extremely sleep deprived and maybe even drunk. My coworker was at the counter helping him with the order, and I was standing in the back organizing the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
But after seeing his appearance, I listened in on their conversation. He seemed timid and uneasy about something, as he made a simple request for a medium pizza. But then he added on that he'd like it to be delivered, and then handed my coworker a slip of paper. Right after the order was sent through, the man walked out.
I mean, I guess it's not too weird because you go online and I guess order pizza to be delivered to you, but it is kind of weird. I mean, and they still got to take time to make the pizza and everything, so I guess if he's just willing to pay the fee, but that still seems kind of off, bro. I don't know who's making that delivery. Not me, but I wish them luck. I said, I ain't doing it, but hey, man, y'all do that, man.
The paper just had an address written on it, but it was kind of odd because who wouldn't remember their own address?
Right.
Also, it's not every day that you get a customer coming into the shop to order for delivery to their house.
Right. It just seems odd.
Anyway, 10 minutes later, I boxed up the pizza and got on the road. It didn't take long for me to notice a strange car behind me. It was the only other car on the road, and they were constantly speeding up and slowing down, like they were having trouble staying at the same speed.
What?
Once I saw them swerving too, the first thing I thought was that they were drunk, and how the man at the shop looked drunk too.
I ain't gonna lie, I actually had something like that happen to me too. Like, I was driving home, I think it was Cinco de Mayo, and it was a dude that was drunk in front of me, just swerving lane to lane to lane on the back road, bro. Like, he was on the right side, and he would just go all the way slowly over, and just be driving, like, in the other side of the lane. I had to keep, I followed him for a little bit and kept beeping to him, so to make sure that he wake up and, like, stay in his lane and everything. It worked for a little bit, but eventually, you know, we diverted past and everything. I just pray to God that he didn't get himself killed or no one else, man. I hope he and everyone else is okay. But yeah, don't drink and drive, y'all.
It seems stupid now, but at the time I really thought it was just a coincidence. When I got to the neighborhood, the car behind me pulled off to the side of the road and parked.
That's so weird, bro.
30 seconds later, I pulled into the driveway of what looked like any other house and stepped up to the front porch. I knocked, then knocked again, and after a couple minutes of waiting, someone finally answered. It was a different man from the one I'd seen at the shop that ordered the pizza. I had a Domino's delivery for Matthew. The man stared at me with very wide open eyes, and I noticed that he looked very similar to the way the other man looked.
They both
Sleep
awful.
deprived and drunk. It took him a few seconds to respond. Yeah, of course, thank you, he said quietly, reaching out for the pizza. I gave it to him, and he looked at me like he was going to say something else, but he didn't. He just continued with his dull look.
I don't know what they offer, bro. They all offer like some beans right now. They offer something. Like, as a group, they doing something in that basement, or they might have a whole work or sweatshop in that basement. They got something going on, bro, because there's no way they just both just perked out like this, man.
I then turned around and saw a guy in a hood jogging down the sidewalk just 2 houses away,
Bro,
but he was looking right at us. I quickly went back to my car, and the man at the door stepped out onto the porch like he was going to follow me. I got in and started backing out, but the guy in the hood went right behind my car to block me from leaving.
Yeah,
The other one then started running toward me, and in the heat of the moment, I just stepped on the pedal to go in reverse. The guy behind the car jumped out of the way at the last second, and both of them started yelling and chasing my car onto the road. In the streetlight, it became clear that the man in the hood was the guy who came into the pizza shop. With them still running at the front of my car though, I had to reverse dangerously fast down the street until I could safely make a 3-point turn and get away. I called the cops, and within the hour, both men were arrested for attempted robbery.
Oh, they're trying to rob
Their
him.
plan was clearly made while drunk, because they thought that by ordering at the shop, we somehow wouldn't think it was them because it was a delivery order, even though we had their name and address.
Yeah, they definitely did that when I was drunk, because that don't even make sense, bro. That made no sense whatsoever. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to figure out it is you? Like, what? Like, what do you mean by that? You gave me, like 10 minutes ago, you gave me the address, your name, and everything, and I see you walking up with the same musty little hoodie. Like, they're not even smart criminals. Like, god dang, that ain't even smart. How you not even smart criminals, man? I hate a dumb criminal. Like, you really thought you wasn't gonna get caught off of that? No, it's no common sense.
It really made no sense, but according to the record, they had pulled multiple robberies before, and one of them resulted in the victim getting beaten up in a parking lot for no reason. 2 drunk guys running at me with bad intentions could have escalated into something horrible, but I was glad to have gotten away without any harm. And thankfully, they won't be able to do this to anyone else.
Enjoy Rikers, you freaky frogs. That was story number 1.
I used to work for my best friend's parents' restaurant. I did deliveries for them and would sometimes help clean tables or whatever too. The job in itself was fine, but it felt very uncomfortable to have my friend's parents as my boss. I thought it wouldn't be too bad after a while, but it just never got better.
Yeah, like, one thing I'm gonna advise to y'all, bro, never work with friends or family, bro. It's just not worth it. Mixing business and personal and pleasure and all that do not mix well. Cause it's one thing that will always divide relationships is that money, mo. Money, bro. You do not want to sit there and mess up your personal relationships with money. That's why I'm like, another thing is, you don't even really want to be friends with people at work, because what happens outside of work can follow you back into the work environment. Now your bag is messed up because something that happened off hours. Or something that don't even have nothing to do with the job, bro. You could be a great 10 out of 10 worker, but they heard you sitting there acting a fool in the clubs and everything from one of your coworkers. It could be grits and potato chips for you. You feel me? That's what I'm saying, bro. Don't have no friends at work, man.
They hated every time something wouldn't go exactly as planned, and they also scheduled me and my friend on opposite days, so it didn't even feel like we worked together, which was the whole point of me taking the job. This happened during my 3rd and final month working there. It was a regular night to start, getting a few quick deliveries, but it really slowed down toward the back half of the night. My friend's dad hated it when it was slow, because I'd be standing around waiting for orders, and he'd always be grumpy about it, even though it wasn't my fault.
I hate food. I hate customer service so much, bro. Like, what do you want him to do in that situation? There's no one there. Like, they be like the meanest motherfuckers for no reason. I hated fast food. Oh my god, I got story times from that too, man.
8:30, which was an hour since my last delivery, and 30 minutes until the end of my shift. He picked up a phone call, and I overheard him say that we could deliver. Afterwards, he made the food and handed me the bag to deliver, but when I searched the address up, it was 40 minutes away. Of course I complained, because by then my shift was over in 15 minutes, and this delivery would take nearly an hour and a half, but he didn't care. I could tell he was just upset about me waiting around, which again was not my fault, but after a brief argument, I did as he said. 40 minutes was pretty far away for our small town, so I had no idea where this address was. By the time I was 2 minutes away, it was just before 10 p.m. There were no houses nearby from what I could see until the last minute of the drive when it had me turn down a small street that led to a row of maybe 6 houses.
Oh my god, I hate places like this.
They all looked old and outdated, and they were the only houses I'd seen in the last 5 minutes of driving. I slowly passed by each house and looked at their numbers.
They all look like crack houses. Oh heck no, Mo. Yeah, I quit this night too. Had me go in the middle of the night at some crack houses. Look at them dang. Look at all the cracks in the stuff, bro. Nah, bro, I'm not going with no. And there's no street lights or nothing, bro. Like, no, bro. I've been in a couple places like that too. There'll be no street lights. Every place look run down and janky, bro. Did y'all see the movie Barbarian, bro? Like the movie Barbarian where the giant lady was in the basement and shit. That's exactly what this reminds me of. Nope, I wouldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it no more. I quit. Real talk.
Numbers until I found the right one. Then I parked on the street right next to the driveway. I'm not gonna lie, this place gave me some spooky vibes.
I bet it do.
It was so far from everything, and the houses themselves were just old and creepy.
Nah.
I got out and brought the bag up to the doorstep, then rang the doorbell.
Don't we got a street light?
Nobody came to the door.
A porch light on
knocking. It was late and I wanted to get this over with, so I was getting impatient. As I waited, I looked around. The street had no cars on it or in any of the driveways, and none of the actual lights were on inside any of the houses.
That's why I like that little feature that DoorDash got. They don't answer the joint, bro. You leave it on the floor, you take your little picture, you pull the fuck off. You feel me? I'm not staying for that, bro. Nah, I would have left the food, bro, because there's no way. You're just sitting there with no street lights, no porch lights, nothing. Just dark and luminous, bro. Like, no. I bet the pay garbage,
too. I carried the bag back to my car and called the customer's cell. They didn't pick up, so I just sat in my car and tried to think of what to do next.
Leave the food.
They hadn't paid for the food yet,
they hadn't paid
so I couldn't just leave it on their doorstep.
I'm taking it back.
Then I saw a light move around inside the house. I got out and saw the light move through the downstairs windows and over to the front door. Then it turned off. A second later, the door opened. There was a young man, early 20s, standing in the—
Oh, why he look like that though? Why they all look like they all perked out in this video? Why he look like that? And why he got a dang flashlight in his own house? No, there's so many red flags in this, bro. Like, real talk, there's so many red flags. But I've been broke and done some questionable things, so I can't even sit there and judge homie. I can't, bro. Because when you broke, bro, you go through a lot. You go through a lot of stops before you sit there and say, you know what, fuck this. You know what I'm saying? You go through a lot before you sit there and say, no, I'm not doing this no more. So I understand.
In the doorway, holding a large flashlight in one hand and a grocery bag in the other. I walked up and asked if he had ordered the food. He nodded and apologized for taking so long to answer the door.
Bro, look at his eyes, bro.
I said it was alright and tried to hand him the bag, but he just held up both of his hands to show me they were full. Then asked if I'd kindly put the food on the kitchen table for him.
No.
I wasn't sure if he was joking or not at first, because he easily could have just put the flashlight or grocery bag down for a second. No. But then I realized he was serious. I peeked around him, and from the short entryway, I could tell that there was something off about this place.
No.
It was
What gave it away? Maybe like all the cracks on the place. There's no street lights. There's no porch light. There's no lights inside the house at all. His eyes are all red and strained with cracks all in them. He got a flashlight in his own house. He invited you to come. No, there's so many red flags. Just no. No, tell him no. He probably got kids in the basement and everything. No. No, he probably gonna make you the 13th body. Like, no, bro.
It was dusty all over, and it looked empty. Once I saw that and thought about the flashlight being used instead of the regular house lights, I was almost sure that this place was a vacant house.
Right, it is.
The man was still looking at me and waiting for a response. Sorry, I'm actually in a rush. If you could just pay really quick, then I'll leave the bag right here on your porch.
I was like, it's customer
Like
policy.
that
I can't do
answer,
that.
And he showed it with his face. He set down the grocery bag and took one step out of the doorway and onto the porch. I backed up so as to not be too close to him.
Right.
There was something in his eyes that told me he was about to do something, and I wasn't going to wait for whatever that was.
Kick him in them dang acorns. Kick them acorns and get the 40-yard dash running, boy, to that car. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. This money is not worth it, bruh. You do not want to be on the news, man.
Was to happen. I dropped the bag and sprinted for my
Facts.
car, driving away as the man watched me intently from the porch. I was shaking for most of the drive back, unsure of what could have just happened.
Bro, he about to put you on the news.
Of course, though, when I told my friend's dad about what happened, all he seemed to care about was that I didn't make the man pay.
Oh my god, he's so...
For that reason,
I quit.
I just quit right there
Facts.
on the spot. I knew my friend would be upset, but I'd had enough of his parents being dicks to me for doing nothing wrong.
I might beat up my friend just for sitting there and giving me that job, bro. I said, yo, your father a butthole, dog. Like, he didn't care. I almost got kidnapped. Like, he did not care at all. Screw his friend.
After that, I was pretty heated and was thinking more about that than I was about the man who lured me to a vacant house and likely tried to rob me, or even worse.
No, he about to
Being
put you in
so
a cage in the
distracted,
basement, boy.
I never called the police, not until it was too late anyway. Thankfully, I wasn't dumb enough to go inside the house though, because if I had, I probably never would have returned from that delivery.
Facts. You about to been grits and potatoes, my boy. Ah, DoorDash.
Back in high school, I signed up for
DoorDash.
DoorDash just to see if it was as good as they advertised it. Initially though, it took me a whole month to finally get myself to take on my first delivery. But from then on, I did a couple deliveries a day and was really happy with the results.
Okay.
A couple months after that, I quit my grocery job and started dashing every day after school, and even on most weekends.
See, I did do that for a little bit, but they been hyping DoorDash up. Maybe it's like the area I in, but I'm in a very popular area, but DoorDash is not that very lucrative during the week, at least for my area. Like, mostly you getting money on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays type stuff, bro. Because everyone else is cooking during the week.
On this night, I was working extra late because it was a holiday weekend. I was driving from 8 p.m. until 2 a.m., pretty much just going back and forth from the 24/7 McDonald's.
Yeah, that's how it was.
A little
for me when I was
past
doing
2,
DoorDash.
I picked up another McDonald's order and went en route to the customer. It was set to be delivered at some sort of a warehouse, and in the notes it said to go in through the side doors and drop it off at the front desk. When I got there, I pulled into this huge parking lot. It was mostly empty, only having a few semi-trucks in it. The building was definitely an old warehouse though, being just a large rectangle with a few windows and a single door at the front.
That seemed like a slaughterhouse. Like,
I
heck
checked
no.
one more time to make sure I had it right to deliver it through the side door, then pulled around to the side and parked. The side door was one of those really heavy metal doors with a small glass window.
That's so creepy, dog.
I looked through that tiny window and didn't see anything but a small and dark entrance room, but the glare from my car's headlights made the window reflective and hard to see through. I swung it open and was immediately taken back. It was just as dark as it seemed through the window, and it only had a tiny wall light in the corner that was more of a dim safety light. There was no front desk, so I walked around the corner and stood at the end of a long, unlit corridor.
Bro, what's with all these unlit places y'all going down? Like, no, I'm leaving it at the door, bro. Like, I'll call one and say, no, you gotta come get it, bro. I can't go in there. Like, I'll lie at something and say, it's company policy. I can't go in people's cribs. Like, you have to come outside and meet me outside. Like, I'm not going inside your house. I don't know you. You're not going to kidnap me and put me on Law and Order. Like, real talk, bro. It's not, like, DoorDash money do not be hitting that hard. I promise y'all, bro.
I knew that most places that have night shift workers don't keep on the unnecessary lights, but this seemed excessive. I couldn't even see the end of the hallway, so if I were to walk down there, I would be walking into complete darkness.
It's not worth it, I'm telling you. The
I
money
took
is
my
not
phone
worth it,
out
bro.
and checked, now for a third time, to see if I'd gone to the wrong place or through the wrong door. Everything seemed right, but there wasn't any way I was going to walk through that hallway.
Facts.
And the more I thought about it, the more I realized how quiet the whole building was. No machinery moving or people talking. Not a sound at all. I decided to call the customer. I clicked on their name and had it dial the number, and just a moment later, I heard a phone ring echo from the other end of the hallway.
Dog.
After another few seconds, it rang again, but it was closer and louder this time. I stared into this empty corridor and could barely make out the faint glow of someone's phone. Hey, I got an order here from DoorDash. I'm gonna leave it right here for you.
Facts.
I said.
Leave that joint right there and walking right back out, bro. There's no way.
Setting the bag down in front of me. The figure of a large man started to come out of the dark corridor, but they didn't say anything. I waited another second, but as they got closer, it just really seemed unnerving the way they were walking so fast and not speaking. I had this feeling like someone was gonna jump out behind me or something, and overall was a little freaked out. I turned around and walked quickly out of the door and back to my car.
Right, bruh.
A few moments later, I saw some movement from behind the small glass window on the door just before I pulled away. That whole thing gave me chills and had me call it a night and go straight home.
Yeah.
In the end, I chose to believe it was just a weird situation all around, but nothing really happened, so I blew it off. A couple days would go by, and on Monday evening, while I was driving again, I got a strange call. It was from the police department.
What?
What happened next was more complicated than it had to be, but basically they questioned me about why I was at that specific warehouse at 2:30 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Oh, he was in the middle of
Apparently they
bodying
had
someone.
security footage of my car pulling up. After explaining I was just a DoorDash driver, and I proved it with the delivery receipt, they told me what was going on. They said that the workers came back from their holiday weekend, where the warehouse was not in operation, and found a DoorDash delivery sitting in the middle of the hallway.
Oh, he was about to pack my boy up. He didn't even want the food. He wanted booty meat. No. Like, he was about to send you on Channel 5, boy. It's a good thing you got up out of there. Jesus Christ. Bro, that was scaring me, bro. I'm going to church right after that, bro. There's no way, bro. That's crazy, Mo. Whew, you so blessed, bro. And you so smart for getting up out of there, because a lot of people would have had, and they would have sat there on Channel 5 News, bro. That's crazy.
Whoever was there had broken in and ordered with a fake account, which is all scary in its own right. But the creepiest part is that they didn't even take the bag of food.
Right, they was looking for you.
It's pretty obvious that they were looking for something else. I don't know what they wanted from me, but I can only assume that if I had stayed and waited for the man, something terrible would have happened.
You would have been grits and potato chips, my boy. You was about to be a Law and Order Special Victims Unit episode, bro. You was about to be a Law and Order Narcotics. You about to be a Law and Order Special SUV episode, or he's going to be like a dang homicide victim, bro. That's crazy, bro. But I enjoy scary stories like this and animations and stuff like that, bro. So if y'all want to send me some more stuff like that, y'all know where to go on my Instagram, my Twitter, you know, all that stuff. You can just send me and DM me stuff whenever. But hey, man, that's going to be enough for this video, man. I hope y'all like this joint. Make sure to check out MJV Animation. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me, man. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.